Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now the royal racist saga rumbles on, unfortunately. I think unfortunately for everyone involved in that story. I don't think there can be any winners in this story ultimately, however much Harry and Meghan are trying to milk the situation to their own advantage, and that is just my opinion. And I have to say, this is a tarot reading and this is all just my opinion and for entertainment purposes. But now the latest chapter in the story tale is that a book has come out written by Christopher Anderson. The book is called Brothers and Wives. He is a prolific author. I googled him before I started this reading just to make sure I knew something about him, and he's written many books on all the usual suspects, the royals, lots of books on the royals, the Kennedys, on and on and on. And so he is an accomplished author. He's been around the block, he knows what he's doing, and he is the first one out the gate actually naming names. And Prince Charles is the one that he names in his book and says that Prince Charles made some unfortunate comment when Harry and Meghan announced their engagement, mused about what colour skins their children would have. Camilla, of course, told him off, and Harry took it badly and was told that he was being oversensitive when he raised it with Charles. So all the usual suspects are appearing in this story as far as I'm concerned, and it does sound a bit like that spoof royal program, The Windsors. It's the kind of thing that Camilla would say, that Camilla as is portrayed in that spoof program, which I rather enjoyed, I have to confess, that she would tell Charles what a fool he was, and with her riding crop, no doubt, in hand, and her very stiff whiskey, and Harry being told that he's oversensitive also sounds like Harry's possibly been influenced by his wife to read more into the comment than was originally there. So I am going to be doing a Celtic cross using just the ordinary Rider-Waite for this. Don't think we need any fancy cards for this one. There's enough drama just in the story itself without adding to it with an interesting deck. And I'm going to be looking at it from Prince Charles's point of view primarily, but I am going to be asking how Harry reacted to the situation, how he felt, and whether he was influenced in the way he reacted by Meghan Markle. And of course I have to say that this is all allegedly, and this is all just my opinion. And out at the underlying energy comes the Chariot, and that's the card of ambition and getting your own way, driving fast and furiously forwards, and with a goal in mind, an ambitious goal in mind. And it is the story, really, to me. It's the story that won't stop, that just goes and goes and goes. It goes on and on and on, and nobody can actually stop it at this stage, and everybody is going to climb onto this bandwagon and have a go at it. And I have now officially lost track of how many books are being written about the royals at this point, about William and Harry, how many TV programs there have been about them, and how many books are coming out about them, by them. Let's not forget that Harry is writing one himself. Everybody is out there trying to get their space on that table as you walk into the bookshop, and there are the bestsellers, there are the books that they're really trying to push. And how many books on the royals are going to be on that table at Christmas? And this one seems to be the first one out the gate. There are several, and it seemed to be a race on who was going to reveal who the royal racist really was. The winner is Christopher Anderson so far, and he certainly has raced to the top. That's the Chariot. That's what the Chariot is telling me. So let's see from Prince Charles's point of view, the heart of the matter right now, and the Emperor in reverse. He's feeling that very indignant about this. The Emperor is the father. Primarily, before he is the ruler of the known universe, he is the father of the tarot, and as the father figure in reverse, he's feeling very wounded in his portrayal, how he was portrayed as a father, that he's being portrayed as insensitive, heartless, cruel, racist, not at all woke, and embarrassing, really. He's an embarrassment. And of course, very interestingly, as the Emperor card comes out in reverse, Prince Charles is being sent off to Barbados, I think it's Barbados, please correct me if I'm wrong, to hand over to a republic. It's no longer a colony or whatever it was. I don't know what its technical status was, but no longer belongs to the crown, whether it was a crown colony or whatever it was, no more. And very much the Emperor in reverse. Prince Charles is the one who has to shuffle along and do the dutiful thing, and I'm sure that he'd rather be anywhere else in the world right now than having to do that, particularly while these allegations of racism are flying around him. So yes, a very unpleasant energy for him, a very indignant, very hurt, very wounded, embarrassed, also angry. The Emperor can be in reverse, can be an extremely angry card. Let's not forget that. Charles is prickly and sensitive, but I'm sure he can be very angry too. All Scorpios can. And his challenge is the Ten of Wands in reverse. This is just something, this whole Harry and Meghan thing is just something that he wants to end. He can't deal with it anymore. He can't cope with it. He's exhausted. And very interesting, because that card came out with Prince William yesterday. I did a reading on William and Catherine and how they feel about this very sort of bullying invitation that Meghan, I won't say Harry and Meghan has sent out, almost threatening them, telling them that they have to go and stay in Montecito when they are on the United States next year. Same energy came out for William, Ten of Wands in reverse. And there's lots of things that can be said about that card. First of all, it can just be really negative publicity, because wands are PR, and so very, very negative publicity that is very difficult for Prince Charles to handle, as he is king in waiting. And there's the Emperor in reverse. He is king in waiting at this stage, waiting for his big moment, and he's waited a very long time. And to get this accusation, this negativity, this hostility. And so, yes, negative PR for him, very negative. He's exhausted. That's another energy that I get from the Ten of Wands. That is its most obvious energy. There's a situation that is so difficult, so awful, so onerous, so impossible to manage, that he just really wants to walk away from it and drop it. And I would say that Prince Harry should really watch out with that energy, because Prince Charles is over it. I saw it yesterday with Prince William, that Prince William was over it. It possibly takes water sign men longer to be over something than other signs, and interesting to discuss that, really. But when they're over, they are over. And I think Prince Charles is over it right now. So in the hidden energy, I'm asking specifically, did he make some sort of awkward comment, well-meaning comment, but that could be misconstrued at that moment when Harry and Meghan triumphantly announced their engagement? And if he did, it was really it was well-intentioned. There was no malice in it at all. He was happy, he was delighted. I've done readings on Prince Charles and his role possibly in Harry and Meghan getting together. It was a bit of a controversial reading, as far as I can recall. It was a while back. But there's the Ten of Cups, and that's the happy card, the happy ever after, the happy families card. Charles was delighted. He was delighted that, look, very interestingly, and something I have never noticed, I can't tell you how many times I have looked at this card in my life, over many decades of doing tarot. And what do we see but a rather ginger-haired man, auburn-haired man, possibly a dark-haired wife with their backs to us. I wonder who that could be. And two little children dancing around, a boy and a girl. Their skin tones aren't very clear, but it's very clear from the card actually that you could interpret this card as being a sort of biracial family, a blended family from that kind of racial aspect, not from family that's been blended from different marriages. But it's there in the card that Charles was delighted. He really actually was thrilled that he was getting at last the possibility, and I saw this in the reading that I did, the possibility of having children who weren't just completely white, completely Northern European, that were more, it was a more inclusive depiction of the family. It was more representative of the world that the royals are trying to keep pace with. And so if he said something, he said it really out of delight, out of satisfaction at the direction the royal family was going in, as far as he was concerned, and as far as Harry and his children were concerned. And no malice there, but possibly because of the characters in that card, possibly he did say something, and it's, in my opinion, and this is all of course just my opinion, harmless enough thing to say, particularly when you're dealing with fair hair and freckles. And for those of you who, well, you don't have to have watched my channel more than once to know that here I am dealing with fair hair and freckles. So the focus now for Charles, apparently he's called in the lawyers. And as I say, here we are. His reputation is at risk here, very much so, and he's angry and he's over it. So where is he now? What is his focus? He's going to push back, absolutely, with the Seven of Wands. He really is. He's had enough. He's going to defend himself, and he's going to defend himself aggressively with the lawyers. Again, I say to Harry, look out, watch out. You don't know what might come your way, the wrath of the Scorpio, when he's finally had enough. And the Seven of Wands is telling me he's lining up his defences. He has got his lawyers involved. There could be letters being fired off to the publishers. There could be legal action with that card. You're standing on the high ground in the Seven of Wands. You feel that you're right. You feel that you have the right on your side when you're in that position, and you are prepared to fight back and defend yourself. It's not an aggressive card. It's not an attacking card. It's a defending card. And lawyers' letters very likely going out as we speak, if haven't gone already. So the past with this situation, of course, it's been bubbling away since, since the Oprah interview. Tremendous amount of stress for Prince Charles. This has caused him untold stress, anxiety, worry, sleepless nights. Regret as well with that Nine of Swords. There's all kinds of regret in there of what a fool I was to say that thing, harmless, innocent as it might have been. What a fool I was to trust Meghan Markle, possibly. How I was taken in by her, possibly. I didn't see any of this coming. I was blindsided. I was stupid. There's a lot of, for me, the Nine of Swords is a lot about self-recrimination. I should have seen this. I should have thought about this. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't streetwise enough. All of that going on for Prince Charles. He really didn't see the situation with Harry and Meghan clearly. Everyone else around him seems to have. Princess Anne, Prince Philip, William, Catherine, the Wessexes, everybody seems to have read the situation correctly. Prince Charles didn't. He was deluded, and the Ten of Cups always is the card where you are deluded. You pretend that the happy families thing isn't real, but you hope that it is, you think it is, you try and pretend that it is to yourself. It's usually, because it's a 10, you've reached the end of the road with something, and that 10 of Cups often comes out just before a divorce. So Charles was fooled by this, and he knows it, and his past energy is of regret and worry about all of this and how it's all going to go. So what's he going to be doing in the future, the near future with this? What's he going to be doing? And well, he's going to be retiring from the situation to have a think about it. It's almost like admitting defeat here, even though I'm saying he wants to fight back and defend himself. Ultimately, this could be falling on his sword with this Four of Swords. It's the defeat card, unfortunately. I got hopeful when I saw that Seven of Wands, but this doesn't look hopeful for him. It looks like he's just going to admit defeat with this. He's going to almost retire from the public for a while and just lay low, and knowing that he can't really win this situation. It's quite a devastating defeat, this card. trying to recover from this, trying to heal from it, trying to rest. But there is that sense of ruined reputation, always in the Four of Swords, always a very heavy defeat, a bitter defeat for Prince Charles. So I really actually feel quite sorry for him in here. He does seem to be a bit naive, a bit foolish, gullible, and of course we've seen that recently with the other scandal that's been going on with Michael Fawcett. A very unpleasant scandal, and he has befriended some rather strange types in his life. So there's, I'm sure, people watching this reading who don't feel at all sorry for him. I'm an empath, so I'm feeling his energy, and that's why I feel sorry for him. But objectively, no, he's been a fool, and he has been fooled. So how did Prince Harry feel about this comment when it was made? How did he just in himself feel about it? Hermit in reverse, well, he took it badly. He did actually, he himself, take it badly, because that is the Prince Harry card, of course, the Virgo card, and it's in the reverse. He didn't like it at all. Definitely he was offended and felt aggrieved and felt indignant. And how did Meghan Markle, what influence did she have over his response? I can see that from his own energy that he didn't like it. He took it badly. So I don't think he needed any input from her to go complaining and being indignant. And her influence on it, that's very interesting, because it tells me that she tried or pretended to smooth things over. What an interesting game she plays. My opinion. Star card. Star card is all about healing and wanting also to be the star. But of course it is about trying to heal broken things. So she used this to her advantage to increase her star power, definitely, but also to increase her influence over Prince Harry, in the sense that she is the one that understood his hurt, understood how wronged he was in the royal family. This was all there before she came along. It wasn't as if she came along and suddenly Prince Harry realized he was unhappy in the royal family, unhappy because he was not the heir, he was the spare. And so very aggrieved, very indignant. And she has come along and used that to say, well, I can advise you about healing from this, and me and Doria possibly can advise you about healing from this, and never mind that you've had years of counselling suggested by Prince William, and ignore all of that. I am the one who's going to heal you from your racist family, your family who's not at all woke, your family who don't respect you, don't admire you, who treat you awfully, and you should be king, and I will be the kingmaker. I will make you a star. I am already a star, but you too can be a star. I can just imagine it. The dialogue writes itself, really. So going back to Prince Charles now, and his hopes and fears right now for this whole mess, this can of worms. Well, he's just resigned, basically. It dreads the ongoing fighting about this, the conflict, the newspaper articles that are going to be written, the fact that the brothers are going to be at each other's throats over this, and probably were way back then. William probably told Harry not to overreact, and Harry was probably just waiting for a fight, waiting to pick a fight with William, and Charles dreads that. I think it's the thing that he most dreads in his life, his conflict. And he really fears that this conflict is just going to escalate, go on and on and on, as all these books come out and all these things come out. And this is why I get this energy of this Four of Swords, that we might almost get a mea culpa kind of moment from him. But let's see what the outcome of this is really going to be from Prince Charles's point of view, primarily. But let's see. Queen of Swords. Wow. It looks almost as if Her Majesty the Queen might step in and say something, do something very decisive and very final. That's not Prince Charles's energy at all. It could be that there is a female lawyer that gets involved. It speaks to me of some sort of legal process almost that's going on here. Whether it comes from the royals, looks like it's coming from the royals, some kind of legal process that almost the Queen lays down the law about this and ends it. The sword is there in the upright. The sword is going to speak. The sword is going to say something, do something decisive. This can't rumble on. It's too bad. It's too bad for the royal family now with this Emperor card in the reverse, with the situation going on in the Commonwealth at the moment, with Prince Charles, the King in waiting. It can't rumble on. So lawyers have been lined up, in my opinion. Charles might be inclined in the near future to fall on his sword and to admit defeat and say, well, it was all my fault and, you know, I regret what I said and blah, blah. But it looks as if something is going to be coming down conclusively in the as the ultimate outcome of this, where to me that looks like some form of legal action, some form, but it could also be that the Queen puts her foot down about all of this and very decisively and very conclusively ends it all, and might even come out and make some statement about, well, perhaps she was there at the moment when it all happened and it wasn't the way it was interpreted, it wasn't intended like that. Something, to me, there is going to be some kind of statement, some kind of declaration, something that really tries to end this thing, that tries, because for me the Queen of Swords is always about justice, is always about truth, being very decisive, being very shrewd, being very wise. And even though the Queen herself is an earth sign woman, she has more and more adopted this Queen of Swords energy, and particularly since Prince Philip has died. And she might just have had enough too, and say something, put Harry in his place a bit, put the authors who are lining up their books in their places. And of course, Harry is one of those authors. And wind taken out of his sails, rather, if this was the story that he was going to tell. Who else can he blame? Prince Philip? That won't look good. It won't go down well at all. Prince William will fight back for sure if he does. Claim that it was Prince William. So Prince Harry is in a bit of a pickle, I would say. We'll have a look at it at some stage when I can bear to look at this topic again. But so far this is Prince Charles, and it does look as if something decisive is going to happen. Female energy involved there, justice, legal system, royalty, very highest authority is going to speak on the matter and hopefully end it. So, interesting cards. Hope you enjoyed the reading. Thank you for watching as ever, and I'll see you on the next one.